brave enough to tell you, but there ain't gonna be another chance. It's not long until and everything's still. The minutes are racing. Whatever I've done, I did it for love. I did it for fun. Couldn't get enough. I did it for fame, but never for money. Not for houses, not for her, not for my future children. Until now. How could I love again? How could I ever ask for more? And to the road ahead, into a life I can't ignore. How could I love again? How can I walk this path for sure? With no more time to spend, I know the answer more and more. As long as I can, long as I can, spend some time alone. As long as I can, long as I can, be the man I am.
Dress up like Sharon Stone, got a law from the boss like Davy Jones. Sip a scotch, me out getting drunk stone. Shot the shot, she could toe. So much she electrical, electrical, symmetrical. Goddamn girl, so flexible. Is that possible? Would that possible? Girl so sick, she toxic, bro. Methodical, like Dr. No. Send you to a goddamn hospital. I know lots of folk done rock the boat, but she never had this lost though. She never had this job stole. I'm a dog D, don't speak, let's go.
take a trip around the world. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Yeah, she say you do. My girl says when I kiss her lips, get the thrill through her fingertips. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Yeah, she say you do. Well, I talk about boys. Don't you know I mean boys? Well, I talk about boys now. Ah, boys. Well, I talk about boys now. What about the joy? All right, George.
All right, what's up, guys? What's good? Morning. How we doing? How we feeling today? All right. I was up pretty late. Had just way too many ideas for education videos. So I just couldn't go to sleep. I just was writing and writing and writing. So it was awesome. I'm actually cool with the lack of sleep for sure. What's up? What's up, everyone? What up? Yeah, I hope you guys, let's have an amazing day, amazing session. For everyone that's here with us, grateful for y'all. Some spooky setups, some spooky smart money setups for us today. So what's up, Argentina, Sene? We got the Torres, Jose Luis, ¿cómo estás? What up, Seth, Diego, aquí bien. What is his name? Ginguero, Ruben, about to get spooky. Edgar, what time does it start exactly? Usually, yeah, like 8:15, like 15 minutes after the hour. Music got me in dancing. Oh, you know what? I should have played the Tim Impala's new Dracula song. You had titled yours. That's cool. That's cool. All right, so let's dive into it. I see we got Taylor, Jesus, Noah. Noah, I didn't post. I don't think did I post a replay yesterday from their session? I don't think I forgot to. My bad, man. Yeah, we have a time. We have the, what's it called? Daylight saving time here in parts of the U.S., most of the U.S. So, tomorrow the difference between Europe and the U.S. goes back to normal, I believe. So we'll have that going. But yeah, let's look at some indices. Yesterday we had shorts, right? So I was talking about possible shorts here. I didn't end up taking it. Ended up going nicely. And I was precautious about buying NASDAQ here because of this liquidity. And yes, of course, we have gaps over here that at some point we can go take care of. But right now, that's not my priority right now. Right now, I do have different priorities within the markets. And that has to do with this. So we had a massive sell-off towards the end of New York session yesterday with NASDAQ specifically, which ends up taking out tons of liquidity. So we end up eliminating Thursday's New York Open and then Tuesday's London session and trading all the way down into Monday's. So we end up trading all the way to Monday New York session. So I'm definitely really mindful of what the market looks like because, and hopefully this gives you guys a better perspective, but despite it appearing like we're getting lower lows structure-wise, this is very far from reality. We do break below these lows, however, and as you hear me say every single day, demand really wasn't here. The market came down, took out those lows, came immediately right back up with earnings reports and things like that happening. Yesterday, we had a lot of volatility towards the end of the session. And then, really just the last hour of New York session. So right now, I'm not in any I'm looking to buy, but lower here, and I'll work you guys through what I'm seeing here. But we definitely have just, slow, choppy consolidation during London, during Asian, and during London. So on the left hand side of the screen here, I am way more bullish. So here, now taking another look, actually during the last 30 minutes, we have a spike down. We end up mitigating this drop before rallying, but that sets up for a new one too. So we do see the imbalance here. This takes out 30 minutes of buyers, but then continues bullish. So based on how this happened, the specific movement, this to me, and I'm going towards, and you should be able to find this. This is right at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is the last 30 minutes of New York session. We get a huge sell. Huge. So we get this big ass move down here. All right, this is good to go, and the market goes on its merry way. So we have that all set in stone. And then as you're looking at NASDAQ here, okay, NQ sets up, trades bullish, very nice. Meanwhile, all right, Dow wasn't really as excited. So if you look at, if we zoom out a little bit here, this is NASDAQ. And then Dow Jones, which, okay, here we go. That push down does not happen the same way. NQ takes out that liquidity and, just trades lower, trades into Monday's price action. Dow doesn't do that yet. Dow did trade into Monday's price action, but that was on earlier. It was pre-New York Open. So we notice NQ go bearish more aggressively and then way more bullish. You can see we're trading way higher in the range, whereas Dow hasn't really done too much. We didn't get that massive end of New York session rally. All we get is consolidation instead. So for buys, we look way more primed for quality buys with NASDAQ, in my opinion. What's up, Brandon, Lucio, Friso, Greg? Feliz Dia de Muertos. You gonna get in there? They do crazy stuff, Dia de los Muertos out there, since you're in Mexico. So yeah, I like buys as of right now. Things can change, price action, tricky little price action. But right now it looks better, in my opinion, buys for NQ. However, are we getting an opportunity to sell indices from near where we're at now? So I was looking at this and I'm like, you know what? This is borderline liquidity. I could see this did make a little move up and then it dropped. And, of course, that's where NQ wanted to drop from. And this is giving potential shakeout sells. Not necessarily just with NASDAQ, but just everywhere, right? Dow Jones does the same thing. And I'll give you guys here the sessions. You see the Tokyo highs are cleared out. During London, we end up taking out this area as well. So we trade right into the high of New York Open before it drops. Whereas, or not New York Open, but just New York session. NASDAQ takes out the highs. We take out all of this choppiness from London, from Asian, and we trade upwards to, honestly, pre-New York Open. So NASDAQ clears up a bit more liquidity first and then is starting to drop. Whereas Dow takes out highs as well. Not anywhere near as strongly. And here yesterday's sell zone also mitigated out of here. Massive moves here. But now, we're less than 3 minutes away from New York Open. the question becomes, is the market going to come all the way back up here? Are we going for this zone right away? Or considering now, right, when we're looking at moments like this where, okay, you have a liquidity sweep, the context matters, right? So, okay, we took out London session traders, Asian session traders. That's a solid amount of liquidity to be sweeping. Does that give us the green light to then trade either, we get the move here. We're 2 minutes away. So we get a move somewhere over here. And then do we trade back down to the zone or even lower? If we're trading just to here, because, and here's why I bring this up. During London, this also takes out liquidity. So Dow definitely clears up retail buyers over here. Just all of this liquidity here gets swept up. You have just, retail buys all in the zone. That was ugly. Here we go, like all this area. All in here, you have a whole bunch of buyers. So, okay, is Dow going to come here and then get a reversal? Maybe, but my priority isn't to buy in here. You could be precautionate, and if you were in sells, you could get out where it swept liquidity. So here you have a little liquidity sweep. When you see things like this is either a place to buy or a place to sell. A place to buy or a place to get out is what I'm really trying to say here. However, this has more it could target, in my opinion. There's all of this liquidity, and then there's even some, more of the gap that it could come fill. So I'm not so inclined to buying. And I think we might just actually end up, maybe we reverse out of here, fine. But I like a sell here. We're 10 seconds out. I think we can see a short in this range. I want to see how this opens. Look at how NQ is just chilling. It just completely mellowed out. So what's going to be the difference? What are we going to see here? So I'm leaning more towards selling Dow up in this zone over here. All right, so this is kicking things off. Dow Jones bearish, doing its thing. I'm going to just make sure I have the right things pulled up so I can take any positions if I need to. Like I mentioned, this was an area where I would have exited at, not necessarily looking for buys, just because to me, there's a lot of reasons for this to go lower. Like this could easily crack this low, keep pushing lower. That could push this further down too. It did mitigate. Look at that. Okay, great rejection out of there instantly. So instant movement. And now we're pushing right back up. So sells right now, I like sells. Is it going to be selling NASDAQ down to this zone? Is it going to be selling Dow? If Dow comes up to here first, which it's kind of looking like it might, then I might just wait for this. Oh, my alert went off for MSI. Nice. I marked this up yesterday for Motorola. All right, gap down to here. So, Greg, this is a zone that I was looking for positions with MSI, assuming that it's going to withstand this and not really drop any much further, which I don't really think it will. I'm not really too interested in this as much, since it's just not, we're trading pretty high and the volatility isn't quite there. But if I was going to, that's what I would be looking at. But okay. All right. Now, NASDAQ. NASDAQ has successfully cleared out liquidity right there. So we took out some highs. Now we're seeing a push to the downside. Looks like it's building up more retail buyers as well. So we haven't quite had the opportunity for NQ to come back up here and close out these smart money buyers. So this is currently an option for the market to come up here and sell right over here. All right, come over here, and then we see the continuation to the downside. Or Dow with a similar process. So I want to see how this unfolds. Right now, we haven't quite gotten to imbalance over here. Same thing right over here. And if we wanted to take a look at S&P, similar outcomes right now. Difference is NQ and Dow, once again, they're not, aligned. They're not correlated perfectly. They're they're kind of a mess, right? Right now, Dow is just kind of choppy up and down in that range, as you can see. These first 3 minutes, right, down and up and down. So a little bit more annoying. We're getting clear signs of bearishness with NQ so far. So as of now, for the sell, I'm leaning more now towards taking a short with NASDAQ. Of course, this is assuming that the market confirms the bearish structure. But for all we know, this could just come down to here first. So this is an option, but so is this. And then the buys that I'm looking for, it's a little bit more towards this range here. Now, of course, we've had some lower zones that act as support. So if you wanted a really, really, really low entry, be my guest. You can look to trade really anywhere over here. And then here, let me just so you guys can also see this. You have support over here as well. So these are some key areas for support. And then you have over here as well. So really this entire zone has been very, very good for reversals. Like all of this zone is solid for reversals. So whether you're looking at buying here, buying down here, at the end of the day, it's like, what are you willing to, are you willing to possibly miss getting in, but your risk reward is absolutely fantastic. Considering the volatility that we've seen so far, I'm okay with entries around here. 25,966, like this range. I've seen plenty of support. I think we can get reversals in there. So I like what we see there. Now, being a bit more mindful now on possibly selling, we've broken liquidity here. So this came crashing down. We're not quite getting any breaks of structure that's confirmed yet, but we are getting close. So like the 1 minute here is starting to, get below this level. Let's see if this is just going to maintain this area. This could line up for a sell as well. The best way that this happens for the buy, the best way would be if Dow just starts to really send it and it takes out liquidity while at the same time, simultaneously, or sitting like in this area. That would be like the best case scenario. I don't know if that's how it's going to play out, but if we at least break below this London low, I'm also cool with that. All right, let me check out this. Do you look at CISDs at higher/lower liquidity sweeps to take a trade, Mike? What is that? I don't even know what that is, to be honest. I may not have studied whatever you've studied. So you're going to have to tell me what that is. CISDs. Yeah, I don't know what that is. Something. Yeah, you can let me know. RH Knight. Okay, so cool. Waiting for that while indices are playing out and giving more context. Change in the state of delivery. Change in the state of. That sounds very. I've heard of that. Yeah. Who teaches that? Is that an ICT thing? I don't know if that's I don't think it's a Wyckoff thing. I feel like I've studied everything Wyckoff. But yeah, maybe it's something different that I'm just not familiar with. Change of character? Why does there's so many different names for the same thing. Break a structure, change of character, et cetera, et cetera. I don't necessarily need, so I don't, if that is the case, then I don't need that in order to have my final entry. Because at this point, so for example here specifically, when the market is approaching this area, especially if between the correlated assets, it's already divergent. So let's say we have just Dow continue to push bearish. Structure-wise, it's already trading more aggressively to the downside, and NQ is a little slower to work its way there. At this point, since for me, what I'm basically executing on is the exchange of money, right? This exchange of smart money. So since we have sellers here that just opened up massive positions, you see 120 points worth of a sell-off, I don't necessarily need another confirmation, because in my perspective, at this point is now where we would see an exchange from sellers to buyers. So the sells can close now that we're back within range and money is available for buys. So I don't wait for another to do that. For me, the structure is established prior to this. I don't need another structure point to here. Now that we've seen a shift in momentum, we went from bearish structure to trading above these highs, having demand above these levels as well, not just poking above, but we've created demand. Now that for me is more ready. So yeah, I don't necessarily need another one, but that, of course, that's how I do it. Doesn't mean it's the way. It's just my way that has just way sufficient data for me to be able to do that. I work on the trading floor, so a lot of our traders trade it. Sweet. Yeah, so I mean, definitely. And if you're looking at, for me, basically, we already had it. So we already saw that we already had that happen. And so I don't need an extra layer of confirmation at that point. For me, what's more important is being able to execute now that we've already seen the shift in structure, change of character, in the change in the state of delivery. It sounds nice. That does sound nice. So yeah, so basically it's already been confirmed for me. Now that it's happened, higher time frame, we already have that set in stone, so I can make the execution here. Okay, while we wait for indices to load up, basically, let's see, have this go, work our way down. I'm going to pull up a few more assets, and then we can look at taking a few other opportunities. Off the open right now, the biggest jump was definitely with Amazon. Jesus Christ. 11%. Damn. Nice little... Amazon wants to join the 3 trillion club soon. It does not like feeling left behind. Solar had a nice jump, especially FSLR. Ripping. After earnings reports with Cloudflare also pushing higher. Don't think I'm ever going to be able to get into this at a price I would want to. Robinhood, Coinbase, nice little push up. Structures forming beautifully. Okay. Now, as a reminder, I took positions on Lucid, which is a high risk play for me. It's high. It's just volatile. Like I've mentioned, financially, definitely not the best. But considering who's backing them, they can carry over. It's like not a really big deal that they're trading at. They're operating at a debt right now. So I opened up positions with Lucid, Chipotle, and Snapchat yesterday. So just wanted to share that. I'm going to probably drop a post today on the newsletter for that, just to give you guys a position on that. Cool. What trading floor are you working on, RH? I have the CME like right around the corner here. Short on NG. I've abandoned natural gas. I'll take a look in a bit though. Is it urgent, Edwin? Okay. As we've communicated yesterday, and as it's just constantly, this has just been happening. Now, as you're looking at Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin at this point has been, let's see, can I hide? Hold on. Hide position, hide drawings, indicators. You can't just hide alerts. I feel like you should be able to hide alerts. That's sad. All right, well, whatever. Actually, let's see if the hide all button does it. No, it doesn't. Whatever. All right, anyways. As you guys are noticing with Bitcoin, it's starting to print what looks like distribution, where you see the market take out these highs, fail to create demand, fail to really establish any sort of bullish structure. So failing to really have buyers and sellers competing for price at these levels. And then it crashes, right? Now, does it break below the previous structure point here, the previous low? Yeah. But is there demand down here? No. So despite the market getting below this level over and over and over again, like I've said before, for me, the market isn't establishing a trend until there's demand. If there's no demand, there's no trend. So although, yes, we broke below these previous lows and we traded down into the inefficiencies that we saw over here at like 103, etc., this is not establishing a bearish trend for me. Now, not because I want crypto to go up. If it was time for it to, then cool, whatever. I'd wait for see if we get another pullback, and then, all right, we take our bags, take some L's, take some profits, and it is what it is. But the fact that we are just not seeing demand really below 107, and this is constant now, this is for the whole 2 weeks straight, the market just does not want to give up 107. In a major U.S. investment bank in their Swiss office. Sweet, man. Congrats. So I'm still very much under the impression that we are going to continue to go here, especially with interest rates dropping and with the money printer turning on December 1st. I think we're going to be all right. So Bitcoin wise, we saw yesterday we went break even on this trade. Trade management here saved us, which was nice. And then, market rallied or pushed further down before a continuation. So at this point, you see a nice little sweep and the market rallies. So in reality, we may have a buying opportunity here later. But right now, I'm not too focused on any new opportunities for margin trading with leverage. I'm considering just adding to my positions, my portfolio, if regardless. And then that could bring us to, where is this? ETH. ETH looks pretty clean for buys. So I'll be checking in between ETH and Bitcoin. If we work our way down and the ETH gets to the zone at a slower pace, I'll take a buy on ETH. But that's not what you guys want to see. You guys want to look at some metals. You guys want to look at some oil. That's what you want right now, right? Clean. So oil buys dished out as usual. I feel like oil and gold always while I'm asleep. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing some questions. So let me answer those first. That way I can be of value here, because they are, I think, specific to NASDAQ, which is a little bit more urgent. Mike on NAS, what does it mean, the second liquidity price? Where the price went at the last sweep of liquidity, that second zone, does it mean something specific? Second liquidity price. Can you give me a price point specifically? Can you tell me what zone you're talking about? Is that swipe to short mean that last mitigation before shorting? Let's do this. Emmanuel, in the community here, over here, drop your setups here. So reply to this, and then I'll be able to figure out what you're asking me exactly. So yeah, it's up Seth, Edgar, Luis, Lara, Harshi. Or if you guys already posted something in here, let me know. I can check in. I like this setup, Charlie. GBP odd, little mitigation. Yeah. There might be maybe check in GBP NZD or something, but it looks good. Or Euro odd as well. Hey, just a heads up, NQ is starting to be more bearish than S&P. Is that so? I feel like it's still not. All right, here's the range which I'm looking to trade within. We just rejected 50%. And then here is S&P, which has traded is still below 50%. Did we have a valid MYM buy? Not for me. I didn't take a buy here with Dow because it was already way more bearish than everything else. So, yeah, I wasn't looking to sell or to buy Dow Jones. What's up here? What's good, man? What's good? Interesting, though. Like, now we're seeing a shift in, like, Dow just picked up a ton of momentum. It broke below this area. Barely, though. Like, it's very, I would say this is a very mediocre push below a previous level. This looks borderline like liquidity rather than taking out any positions. I wouldn't count on this holding up. I wouldn't. It left without you. If it was a valid setup, then yeah, maybe it did. For me, it didn't leave without me because it just wasn't valid. Okay, oil-wise, we just cleared some of this liquidity here, pushed down, but just we're coming back up way too quickly. I'm not looking to add any positions to put anything on the line with oil. What could be a play over here is you saw a sell-off before, and this took out some lows, the last push down before the continuation. If we can continue to establish bullish structure with oil, then I would be open to buying oil here. And then if we want to just zoom out to make sure we're considering big picture perspective here, if we can sustain structure over here, then it looks like we're not getting the complete retracement and we're going to rally. But it's very much dependent on how price trades above this high, because it's one of two things that happen now. Market creates demand up here. We're in a bullish structure, and then we can just continue to carry on to the upside. Or we are just taking out some intra-week liquidity like we did here, taking out London session liquidity, and then we can see reversals happen. So the question is about how well does the market perform right there. Now remember, we were at one point looking at possibly shorting Dow in this imbalance because of the way that it, we saw pre-New York take out a significant amount of retail sellers here before working its way back down. Since Dow has decided to be more bullish to kick things off over here, I'm not looking to sell this. I'm okay with it, even if it were to play out. I'm totally detached to that because, to me, Netflix, Nasdaq can easily rebalance up here and even up here, which would leave us with more drive for this thing to go higher. So, on the other hand, on the other side, this could keep going down. Fill imbalance, look to mitigate, and then so could Dow Jones. So I'm opting out of the shorting here. Had we let's say we would have taken this, then we would be in profit right now. But for me, it's not a textbook setup due to the difference in correlation here. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing that I keep in mind when I'm looking at different pairs or different correlated assets is they should be wanting to trade in a similar direction. When they're not, and in this case, NQ is only going down, and for example, NQ is going down, Dow just goes up. That's when they're like not on the same page whatsoever. Oh, let's go, Taylor. Pass your first futures evaluation. You did take the buy. Congratulations. Well done. Who are you trading with? Oh, guys, right now for Halloween, these firms, at least I've noticed with futures, I'm sure there's some CFD ones too, but they have some promotions. So if you guys want to go take a look, Funding Ticks, which is the futures side of funding pips, they have 50% off, and then Tradetopia has I think 30% off. You guys can go do your research on whether that makes sense for you or not. If you have a system in place, if you trust your trading, your discipline, you're not, if you have the data, then go do one if it makes sense for you, if it's within your budget. If you're still experimenting, you really just you don't really know what you're doing, you don't have to go put yourself in a position to validate yourself quite yet. But if it's like $50 and it's in another way, almost like a demo too, cool. And then otherwise, if, those of you that are just trading your own capital, carry on. If you're doing both, deals like this, I feel like it's not a bad time to take advantage. 50 cal eval with Apex. Okay, cool. I'm in YM sell. Nice, dude. Nice. You took that. Yeah, so remember, we were looking for this here. Another trade that I say, hey, I'm not going to take this, but I would see it. And then it plays out. And I'm noticing behavior with this. So now I'm starting to build out a sample size. Is that when these are not in perfect, when they're just not correlating that much, one's going up, the other one's going down, you tend to still get a decent reversal with it anyway. So like this was a setup in a way, takes out liquidity, and then, comes into the imbalance. But the downside to this setup is that it's just not even creating bearish demand at all. It's really having a hard time. So this is more so trading out of just an inefficiency. Is that enough for you is the question. Like, is that enough? For me, it wasn't. And so it's a luxury, I guess, to just reject money at this point. Oh, I do agree with you, Brandon. With the liquidity below, I like it. I see why you would have liked it for sure. What's your take on the meeting between Trump and Xi yesterday? Did it move NAS and ES? So my perspective on high impact news, fundamentals, just really anything macroeconomic related, is the following. Based off of, I don't know, I think I've gone back like maybe 30 years worth of high impact news, certain unexpected events. It's basically just mass orchestration, and money's already dialed in. Like everything's already baked in for the most part. So these are our excuses to create the necessary. It's the excuse for money to come in and out. So for volume to uptick, for sweep liquidity to get swept up and down. So did it move it? Was it the cause? I mean, to me, it's no surprise that as soon as that happened, we get the inefficiency, the rebalance, the continuation. Like, why is it that these moments, time and time again, validate specifically what we're looking for? The unexpected meetings, the random tweets, the and further on, like. So it was a good excuse for market to move? Absolutely, for sure. And same thing with like FOMC and the data that we got. People think like, why would it go down if the data was like basically good for the markets? Remember, guys, these are big picture ideas. So it's psychologically incentivizing decisions to be made for the market to lure in specific type of money at specific levels that are predictable, because human behavior is relatively predictable. Yeah. So that's my take on that. It was priced in. Yeah. I don't know the outcome. Only saw it afar on Bloomberg Telly. Yeah. So right. And so my take on is, it isn't like, oh, because this happened, now suddenly there's a drastic change in what in the market, and now it's gonna go down because of this. For me, it's more like these things are already basically orchestrated to happen. Great. Here's the meeting. Here's the conference. Go. Now, okay, guys, let's carry on with our orders, execute orders that are already established, are already basically primed to happen. Okay, so at this point, with indices, I would love to see Dow clear this low while NASDAQ plays right into this zone. And then take profit wise, I'm cool with either we take it into some of this imbalance or even up to here as we continue to rally. Something about tariffs as usual. Yeah, right now there's never been more excuses for markets to move. You have government shutdown. We have random tariffs. We got beef with China. At the moment, everyone forgot about Israel. That they'll bring that one back. They'll use that one later. Once the government reopens again, they're like, all right, hold on, what else we got? Ukraine and Russia no longer matter. COVID stopped existing. So it's like, pick the fear point. So, what's up, Gio? What's good, homie? Everyone just forgets. It's like people stop caring about a whole bunch of stuff. So, yeah, we'll leverage what is put in front of you. What's up, Venezuela? Yeah, Venezuela is important right now, right? So that'll influence oil and shirt markets in general. So, yeah, Trump, they go Obama drug boat because, of course, that's the actual war. The war is on drugs, guys. So let's go look at some other stuff. Metals, I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm just really patient with this one, but I really do like the silver play here. So the story continues. We've seen that there's a massive sell orders are left behind over here. So still under the belief that we'll come back for these at some point here in the near future. We could use a catalyst to do this. And, next week, probably don't get NFP, but sure, it's still on the menu here. Unless, let me refresh this. And we have a couple key things. ISM manufacturing. This data comes from them specifically. So this we can get. It's not a government-based statistic. So there's some red folder news that we'll get next week that could give us some a little something. And then for metals, hold on. Here we go. There's really not much else for now. Of course, metal markets are also influenced by perceived fear in the markets. So, for example, markets get rattled. Hold on, we got to go put money in the safe asset classes. So, those can be used. And, all right, we're approaching these zones. So, NAS almost at our mitigation area here. S&P already within it. So, I'm not going to look to buy S&P. We're already at about a 70% pullback here. And it's not that it's the percentage and where the Fibonacci is. That doesn't really matter. This is just to understand what is moving more aggressively in a specific direction. So for me, the fact that NASDAQ is moving slower relative to S&P gives me a higher probability that we don't get stopped out over here. And that's the point. All right, let's see here. Where is this? All right, I actually just bought a funding ticks account. It's on the low. I think this one's on Tradetopia. Okay. All right. So for those of you that trade futures and you're trading multiple accounts, or is anyone already trading with funding ticks on this session? According to seasonality, we should be jumping on gold. Tell me when seasonality starts. When does seasonality begin? What's the day? Because according to seasonality, oil should have been going up months ago. So how do you verify your structure on seasonality? I agree. I am definitely in agreement with quarter four buys with metals every year. Basically, for the last 4 or 5 years, I've been able to find my way into a swing on metals, and so I'm in agreement with you. But my question also is beyond just like, hey guys, buy here. Why do we think the way that we think? How do we come into new belief systems? How do we create higher conviction in our entries? So I'm with you. I think a nice little pullback, especially because we're seeing a failure of demand. Same thing like we talked about with Bitcoin. How, okay, it looks like, are we breaking structure? Are we now bearish? Should everything turn around? Price went below, but was unsustainable below these levels. We saw the lack of demand every time the market tried breaking below 46.72, 75-ish, just couldn't hang down here. Price wants to trade higher. So I'm with you for sure on being able to hold this. Conservatively, I think we get from 46 to 50. From there, even to 52.50. But, and then higher highs, probably. So I'm with it. Big difference in NQ and versus MNQ. Wick was pointing out to me. What do you think about that? Since we have less volume with MNQ, with micros, I use NQ's data. This is like the data. So I'm more focused on this. If you're like, okay, well, I have to trade MNQ, and I have this, wick to deal with, then with your stop, I don't know if you're gonna if the market's gonna slip in a similar way in that same price in the same area. So you could manually have your exits, or you have a wider stop in case that kind of wick could influence your trade. But if you can trade, let's say, maybe just one mini, do it if it makes sense. Otherwise, then you can just manually manage your stop when, if you, for example, let's say you're going to take your trade here, but with MNQ, then if, let's say, the market isn't going to go our way and it gets to your price, then you just manually exit. That's one way to do it. Eval stage on funded ticks right now. Okay, cool. Austin, are you trading with what platform for them are you using? Are you using their Tradevate, their other like Project X or TradingView or whatever? Because I just got the first one. I just got an account. I haven't seen what is their copy trader system. Is it just doing it through Tradevate? Are you doing like TraderSync? I don't know if you have multiple. I'm just curious. I looked it up and I didn't really see anything anywhere. So I might have to be the one to figure that out, I guess. Tradevate on TradingView. No copy system. All right, cool. I'll look into it. I don't even think I'll be able to trade off of it today, or not while we're on session. Dude, right around here, there's like a reflection from the sun that just nails me in the eye. Jesus. I'm just gonna be over here hiding for a little bit while my eyesight is recovering. Okay, so metals, same thing goes. You guys can follow the idea. I did post this over here. So if you want to, I think you can follow this. I don't know how does that work? I don't actually remember. But yes, if you want to go take a look, I sent this out days ago. And then that's right over here though. So business as usual here. Today's spooky setups. Yeah, the sunrise over here is like reflecting killing me. I'm just going to hide behind this monitor here for a second. All right, Dow continuing to work its way down. Okay, great. Fantastic. Why do I like this? Because if we get liquidity sweep, perfect, thank you. So do they call them blinds because otherwise you're blind if you don't use them? Where does this come from? You're supposed to know everything. What's up? Hi. Good to see you too. Okay. Metals done. Looking for buys eventually. Right now, I don't have opportunities for sells. With majors, we've been patient to wait for a buying entry. I didn't want to take CAD futures because of equal lows. It got very dangerously low here. I didn't take anything, but it is mitigating out of that zone now. And then we still are waiting for Australian. Australian, in my opinion, has the best opportunity to long because of how it's struggling. Where are you based? California? No, I'm in Chicago. The Shy. We're here in the Shy. Yeah, CME is like right over there. So, yeah, liquidity here is still valid to be taken out. We still have this gap, and then trading out of this sell-off be super clean. So majors-wise, for longs, Australian really is the only one I'm considering. Everything else would have to be a short at some point. Like, for example, the yen we would want to wait quite a bit, but we could see a sell out of this area here. See a nice little clearance, rebalancing structure, continuation to the downside. That's what NCD gave us. 51. My bad. All right, so that covers metals, majors. We've looked at oil as well. Oil crashing right now. So remember what I was talking about earlier, right? Where I was saying, okay, is this giving us bullish structure, higher highs, or is this here to more so capture liquidity and then move on to the downside? The way that we're looking at this now, the market getting down to here makes more sense in my opinion. So I would want, if I'm going to be able to swing something like this, I would be looking to short and take this down to like 57 and change. So some of you saw this sweep of the high. It worked its way down. Had this maybe traded down here for a little longer, I would have been open to shorting up here. But we were kind of downing up pretty quick. Not my favorite way of really doing anything. So slow markets so far. I mean, we have been working our way down. We have seen a NAS drop like 150 points, but didn't have an entry anyways. The YM short did play out, trading into here, valid. So while I wrap up some of this, did you see my text from earlier? I'm going to do a quick look at stocks again just so we get a good idea. Weeble's up about 2%. Nice little rally. Snapchat's up about 1.5%. We got in yesterday at 750. Snipe. It was in this range, 760, 750. So up a little bit here. Nothing crazy. Lucid right around entry. Was it Netflix announced they're doing what, a 10-to-1 stock split? Slow is smooth. Yep. So, it'll look cheaper. Still 475 billion market cap, so that doesn't really change. Tesla rebounding nicely. So, for the most part, these are are moving pretty well. Okay, that's stocks. And then taking another look at crypto. Did anyone pick up some virtual after yesterday's drop? Dropped to 120. I wanted it to go lower. Bitcoin, honestly, just ranging. Despite New York Open being almost an hour ago, just sideways movement. Better than just like crashing. Still, I do like, even if we were to work our way back down sub 107, 350, I like the reversals out of here. I don't know if it's going to hold this low. It maybe even briefly breaks below, but bless you, it would be a short-term move. All right. So one thing I want to show you guys here as well before we wrap up is we do have some really cool stuff coming together here for this store. We have the trader's uniform. I don't know if it looks like this. The store looks like this. My screen is just massive. Here we go. It looks way better here. That makes way more sense. Here we go. So we have some collections coming out here soon. You guys will be able to check that out. You guys already know we have our Trade for Freedom stuff as well. So for those of you that want some sick traders merch, we have some stuff coming. This is basically off of all the requests you guys had. So Memento Mori. We have the Dow Daddy hat here. So for those of you that are obsessed with Dow, this one, Nance customized this one. Little beanie, it's getting chilly. So if y'all want to, make the most out of this. And then if you want a little reminder that you're building your freedom one trade at a time on your mouse pad, feel free to check this one out. This one for discipline, the Stoic shirt. And then Nance made these sweet reflective striped sweatpants over here. Your direction is more important than your speed. So for my track stars over here, you got some pretty dope ones. Different colorways too. So they're looking pretty clean. And the back's got the little logo right there. So yeah, they look pretty dope. We have all of we got some samples with everything, and yeah, it looks these came out super nice. So yeah, feel free to check us out. There's more coming that's not in here. This will be updated with the next couple of days with a whole bunch more. So yeah, feel free to check that out. But I think the thing we're most excited about is the workbook, the inner workbook. And then there's a whole bunch of free resources in here too, guys. So like the Stocks Made Simple, the Smart Money, the Sniper Guide with all the Smart Money setups. This one's like 60 pages. The Wake Off Workbook, which is coming soon. The Crypto Made Simple. For those of you that trade futures and you want your cheat sheet, you can check that out there as well. But this is the one. This is the big one, which is the Breaking the Habit of Breaking Your Plan. This one is so sick. What is it? 65 pages, and it's 11 chapters, but it's a workbook. So it's not just like, oh, here, read this thing. It looks so dope. This is all about inner work. So rewiring different elements that you have within yourself that are getting in the way of you doing what you need to be doing. Actually, you know what? I can give you guys a little read through. I'll give you guys a little taste so you guys can check that out. But I'll do that here in a second. Let me just make sure that I have this in front of us so we're not so we don't miss the setup. Sorry, give me a sec here. Let me pull up the the PDF. Let me make sure you guys can still see my screen. You guys can see my screen, right? All right, perfect. So yeah, we're working our way down though again. I really like that we're going to get much closer like to sweeping that Dow liquidity there. That I love because that is really giving us further confirmations like, okay, tons of buyers are now taking out of the game. We can get the reversal that we need to for the market. So let's see here. Where is this thing? Right. So here, check this out, guys. Let's see if you guys, how you like this. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull this up. What is this on? Okay. Preview. Boom. So you guys get a taste of it here. We go over why people make goals pretty much backwards. Taking a chapter out of Bob Proctor and connecting it to our trading world is the gap between knowing something and why you're not doing what you know. How to use your higher faculties and approach them to trading. How to evolve your self-image and break through a lot of money belief systems and just trading belief systems. And so you guys can go check that out. But so you kind of have an idea. This is about getting, being able to really work through your thoughts. So I'll just read, I guess, the first page here. People with goals succeed because they know where they're going. Any definite chief aim that is deliberately fixed in the mind and held there with determination to realize it finally saturates the entire subconscious mind until it automatically influences the physical action of the body towards the attainment of that purpose. So what we go into in here is, before you can ever experience consistent success as a trader or investor, you first have to decide what does that mean to you. And this is important because you may end up chasing something that doesn't even serve you if you don't consciously decide, what do I want out of this? Do I want 6 figures, 7 figures? Do I want all of these crazy things? Or do I just want to have peace, and because this is how I would like to spend my time, this is really what it costs to me. I want to live over here. I want to live in, Guatemala, and I want to surf, and the cost of living there really is max, let's just say $1,000 a month. And that also sets me up for my retirement, blah, 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 blah. And you only need to make $2,000 a month. Okay, cool. So it's not just profits and targets and win rates, but how do you want to feel? How do you want to live? How do you want to show up? And that's where the ideal is, right? A goal that excites you, stretches you, and requires you to grow into the new version of yourself. Without it, you're left chasing money without direction. You're reactive, you're unanchored, and you're emotionally scattered. So in trading, it's easy to fall into the trap of defining success solely by short-term outcomes. Oh, I won today, or it was just profitable, but does that really mean anything? Those outcomes are effects, they're not causes. So getting clear on your goals, on how your goals work. And anyways, we go into reactivate, the reticular activating system, how to process these things, et cetera, et cetera. And then the big thing is just having actual prompts and questions so you can reconsider certain things, reevaluate, let's say, how you're establishing your goals. And then, of course, it wouldn't be Nancy if it wasn't aesthetic AF. So everything just looks beautiful here. And then you have some action steps as much as it is just reflecting, and then some really cool, just some really, really cool visuals. So I love these, like this one here. Mastering trading isn't about learning more. It's about becoming the person who acts on what they know. But anyways, you guys get the idea. That's what is in that workbook. So if you guys want to check that out, feel free to do so. That's on the store right over here. Tradetopia.store. You guys can go check that out. But yeah, right now we're basically releasing all of the autumn, autumnal, and winter collection. So a lot coming. Like, I know you guys were asking for more stuff for the last few months since like the summer. And then, yeah, we decided, you know what, we'll just get like 10 different things and then just load up the entire store and then have y'all go crazy. And then there's a whole bunch of freebies in there. So Tradetopia.store, check it out in here. And then you guys have access to whether it's resources, the apparels, and then the tradecations, which, you know, Cartagena was dope. I know some of you are like, when's the next one? It's coming. We have it. We know where it is. We know what it is. It's just a matter of releasing it to you guys. But store is amazing. Nance built the store. I'm really good at just this thing, and then she's good at everything else. So, but the team, it's the team effort. It's the dream team. So yeah, anyways, guys, as always, we will be doing a book club for this as well in November. But let's see, you guys, so much value. Thank you for everything over the years. It's so cool to see the growth in your brand. Beautiful work. Appreciate you, Taylor. And congrats again for crushing it. All right. So I'm not going to just sit here and look at this thing. I'm going to enjoy some cafecito. Costa Rica. Yeah, let us know. Let us know in the chat. Where would you want to go? Because, you know, we're doing these tradecations a few times a year. We just get everyone together, have a VIP luxury experience, and go adventure, trade together, little workshopping, but just having vibes around the world. You know, we want to hit different continents as the years go on, a few a year, and be able to do it together. So where do you want to go? Where do you want to go in the world? Like, what's your favorite place? What's the dream place for all of you guys? Because I don't know, like, we've done a handful of these now, and going somewhere in the world with people that you have like just so much in common with, and people that you just like have so much more alignment with. Like, for example, when you, and I guess I'm also very much blessed because a lot of my family trades. So like my brother, well, not so much my sister right now, but my dad too. The store. Oh yeah, I got you. I'll drop it in here. But like when you have to just, oh, hey guys, we have to take a pit stop here because this setup is playing out. It's like, all right, cool. Everyone collectively is like, all right, well, let's get some food. Let's post up shop and we'll take advantage of NQ or Dow Jones setting up or whatever. Or just in the mornings, you get your coffee. We do our thing all together and then we go and hit the islands, do a little boat tour or go see the cherry blossoms. My 2026 goal, I'll go anywhere with y'all. Bad Bunny concert in France, July 5th. What, in Paris? Nice? Where is he playing? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're right. It does not matter. I'm trying to go see Tame somewhere. I'm half Hungarian, half Jamaican. That's sick. Who's your favorite music artist? Oh man, one? To choose one? You can't. That's crazy. Okay, I'll tell you some of my favorite shows I've ever been to. I think I've been around 400 now. I love Tame Impala live. I love Fred Again live. Let's see. Vampire Weekend is really, really awesome live. LCD Sound System is fantastic live. Let's see. I mean, Phoenix goes crazy live. Who else am I thinking? Hip hop wise, the best I've seen live, maybe Russ. Childish Gambino. Wild. That's a great show. Joey Badass. J. Cole, of course. Kendrick. I got really lucky and I got to see Chance the Rapper and Kendrick Lamar play together in 2013. That was crazy. Bad Bunny, of course, is a really awesome show. That's so fun. Who else? Rufus Du Sol. Classic. Let's see. One of my favorite shows ever, well, just because it's Paul McCartney. Like, it's just Paul McCartney. Like, seeing him play like 7 different instruments and going through a whole bunch of Beatles songs was awesome. Oh, Odessa. Holy shit. Yeah, Odessa goes crazy. So, Cage the Elephant was fun. That was super fun. Yeah, that was really, really fun. That was very lively, for sure. It just depends on the genre. Yeah, I'm down. We honestly are down for a lot. So, oh, you know what? You know who's so good? James Blake. James Blake live. Holy Zoo too. ZHU. Those are awesome. But dance party wise, who throws the best dance party? It's got to be Fred again. I feel like Fred again or Tame Impala. Yeah. EDM. EDM's good. There's some fun in that for sure. If you guys have ever heard about Death from Above 1979, they go crazy. That is definitely more on the metal side. Who else has done? What are some metal artists or like in that area? From what I just said, maybe like 35% was electronic music. Snails. Let's see, who else would it be? What about you guys? What are some of the best ones you guys have seen? I've seen glimpses. I've seen Tears for Fears, or not Tears, The Cure. Got to see a bit of Metallica. I didn't go for that, but they were playing. Who else have I got to see? I would love to see Iron Maiden. That'd be sick. Yeah, Iron Man would be dope. Super deuce. I would love to see them. Saw one of Chester's last 5 LP shows. No way. Linkin Park, yeah, that would have been iconic. I haven't been able to see Anderson. That would be amazing. Oh my god, dude. I would be super down to go see that. Yeah. You know who has a good show? Young Miko has a really good show. Yes, he does. Young Miko. Yeah, in Cleveland. Metallica played at the nightclub I ran for Sundance in 2006. What? 1,000 people? Wow. How? So you booked Metallica at your nightclub in 2006. Seth, who are you, bro? How many lives have you lived? You're like a vampire. I feel like you... 2006, that's crazy, like 20 years ago. A man of many lives. Yeah, he's a he's a robot. That's wild. Need some Gucci Mane? That maybe would be fun. I feel like I'm not super into Gucci Mane like that. I'm sure the throwdown. He was in the field. He stays in the field. He's just chill. You know, as much as I love rap and hip hop, I think out of all genres, they may be my least favorite though. It's just not. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's just not a guy on the mic jumping. It's like this, not the same as like the instrumentation. They're fun for sure, but like memorable wise, I feel like they just don't hit the same. What's BMTH? Bring Me the Horizon? He said, wow, okay. Okay, well, okay, you can use the full thing, bro. It's like, think about how many acronyms are in my brain. You know how many tickers I have to think about, I have to keep right here? Come on. Yeah. That would be sick. I haven't seen them. I would love to see them. This is one of my favorite songs. Bring Me the Horizon is so sick. I have like maybe 15 of their songs in my gym playlist. But I feel like Sempiternal that's probably my favorite album by them. Rappers are too cool to be jumping around. They jump. They be just jumping. Apparently, I don't know, maybe we're not going to get this NQ play. We're just going to be sad and cry. S&P looks like S&P is doing the thing, though. We got the deeper retracement over here. So as of right now, not quite mitigated fully on S&P, but almost there. Almost there. Nice sell-off. Getting pretty close. Whereas NASDAQ, I didn't get in there. If it were to drop again, I would pull the trigger, though. Nothing like a metal pit. Yeah. Yeah, it's, when you're contemplating your life and the vibes. That's why, like, my favorite show, and that just, like, I guess if we were to widen the genre, but, like, we'll just say metal. I think Death from Above 1979. If you guys never listen to them, yeah, fuck yeah. Those guys go crazy. I would love to see I'd love to see, like, Sleep Token. That'd be sick. I know they got pretty big out there in the UK. I know they're huge now. Sudden Death, haven't seen them. The Warning. I don't think I know them. Oh, you know who I just happened to listen to recently, like a few months ago, that I got put onto? Well, I guess YouTube put me on. I was watching like a circle thing, but The Blaze. You guys know The Blaze? The Blaze. They're kind of like a Rufus Du Sol type of vibe. They got some they're really cool shows from what I got to see. Yeah. So, okay, from what I understand, live show, we'll have to incorporate some going to see something live at a tradecation. My dream is to throw a festival. For sure. Fucking Matt got ahead of me. So I'll have to do one with him probably. 3 Mexican Sisters, They'll Rock Your World. The Warning, huh? I'll check them out. That sounds cool. Called what? The Blaze? That are like Rufus Du Sol? I think, is that what you're asking? Actually, I forgot. Did I go full screen or no? Okay, you guys can still see this chart, right? All right, cool. Yeah, all right. So chart, guys. I mean, trading wise, things are just kind of chilling. I'll let y'all go do your thing. If you guys want to take advantage of anything of the store, feel free. And then if you are considering doing the syndicate, and the one thing that was stopping you was the monthly, shoot me a message. I'll run a little Halloween promo too. 24 hours. Let me know. All right. Shoot me a message or book the call. And if you're on here for the first time ever and you're like, who are these people? I want to be around them some more. I want to be around these lunatics. Then you can scan the code on the left. That's our free community. Come hang out. Come vibe. Got a hilarious amount of resources, honestly. Like how to build a trading system, everything you need to know about smart money, trading psychology, hundreds of hours of that. I'm going to drop a poll in the chat. I'm going to drop a poll in the chat in the community. And there's a whole bunch of series that I haven't released that I used to have in where I was hosting all my stuff at the previous company that hired me. And so I have all those videos. I just need to re-upload them. So I'm going to drop a poll with all the different series. I know some of you have seen those in the past. And then whatever you guys vote on, I'll upload that today. So let me know. And then if you want to work with me hands-on for the next year so that, we get it right, get you right. Scan the code on the right. Book the call. Learn more. It'll be a good time. You're awesome too, Steve. The festival. What would the festival be called? I'll have to think about it. All right, guys. Take care. I'll leave a little jams playing, at least some music playing. Peace out, guys.
It's always around me, all this noise, but not nearly as loud as the voice saying, let it happen, let it happen. Just let it happen, let it happen. All this running around, trying to cover my shadow, an ocean growing inside. Now all the others seem shallow. All this running around, bearing down on my shoulders. I can hear an alarm. It must be morning. I heard about a whirlwind that's coming round. It's gonna carry off all that isn't bound. And when it happens, I will be holding on. So let it happen, let it happen. All this running around, I can't fight it much longer. Something's trying to get out, and it's never been closer.
Oye, mujer, me siento fatal. Estoy buscando a alguien que me quiera chuchar. Puede ser tú. Puede ser tú. Esto se pone feo, entonces empiezo a gritar. Es solo la costumbre que siempre pide más. Empiezo a temblar, pero todo me da igual. Fuera de mi vista no lo quiero ni ver. Amigos como rata criticándome. Quiero una buena rubia que me haga flotar. Vente tú conmigo porque todo me da igual. Yeah, yeah. Todo me da igual. Yeah, yeah. Que todo me da igual. Todo me da igual. Todo me da igual.
Espero que sepa que esto se queda grabado para siempre. Mujer, te toco fatal, pero no te pongas ti. ¿Eh? Ay. Uy, toma. Casa. Ven. Vamos con él.
Digo uno por los colegas. Digo dos por la familia. Tres por mi dolor. Digo cuatro, me duele la cabeza. Digo 5, premio. Hoy me encuentro solo. Digo 6.